So here's a really random thing. I don't even know. Is that the brand name? ROKR? Rocker? Is it a rocker? Mechanical time owl clock. An owl clock. This is like a wooden puzzle thing that you put together. This brand makes all these different kind of mechanical things. Apparently that's a shotgun from the Terminator. I don't know. When I think of Terminator shotguns, I think of the what was that old like 1897 lever action shotgun that he swings around in Terminator 2. That is a pump action shotgun. I do not remember him using a pump action shotgun like that. Not in the first two movies, anyways. But yeah, so this is an owl clock. And yeah, it looks like it's got a lot of pieces, and they're all laser cut, so hopefully they pop out pretty easily. And this is also a quartz movement, so there is like a battery powered element to this, but it does have a pendulum, and apparently that is, yeah, pendulum escapement. So it'd be interesting to see how this thing actually works. It looks like it's fairly complex in terms of all the gears. This is just something that I bought. It was, I think $60 Canadian, but I did not pay $60 Canadian for this. And honestly, I probably wouldn't pay $60 Canadian for this. I got this for like 33, I forget exactly what it was, but basically $33 and change. And so, yeah, almost half off. And so at that point I thought, it's interesting. It might be fun to put together. So you can see it looks like there's 5 sheets of this laser cut wood with different gears and all this different stuff on it. And then there's your quartz motor. And there's some metal hardware. There's a key for winding it, which is weird because it's got a motor. Is the motor optional? There's 2 springs in here. Why would it need a spring if it's battery powered? That's weird. And the hands are in there. And is that a bell? No, maybe the spring goes in there when it. I don't know. I have no idea. Is it easy to put together? Is it going to work well? Is it going to keep accurate time? I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess let's just find out. There's the instruction manual. Oh my god. What do these numbers mean? I don't know. Those are just the steps. I thought that was telling you what piece. I guess you take these pieces out. The pieces aren't numbered, are they? Oh, they are. A3. This one's not. It's like A2. It's marked on the outside where it's going to pop out from. So once you pop it out, you don't have the number. Even though on that one it's A1. They could fit it on that one, but they couldn't fit it on this one, apparently. Wow. Well, let's get this thing open, I guess. Sandpaper is like a little tiny square of sandpaper. I guess if a piece pops out and it's not smooth. So taking a look at this, again, these are laser cut. The pieces should pop out fairly easily. It seems like every, quarter of the way around, there's a little just fraction of a millimeter where the laser didn't cut. So it kind of holds it in a little bit, but it should pop out pretty easily. Just be careful not to break any, parts where it's fine detail, the teeth on the gears. But yeah, that's comes out like that. I guess I'll just get started on this thing. So these first parts here is basically these. Every sheet of wood is a different letter. So like these A1 and A2 were all on one sheet, but these were like B8. So B8 are on a different sheet. And then there was a metal piece. This is P4. And this was actually like the key, it looked like. And that was screwed onto there. And so when you're looking at this as one piece, it doesn't look anything like the thing in the picture. And I realized, oh, that unthreads. And that's the thing in the picture. So yay, we're off to a good start. That could have been a little bit more clear. But this is all the parts for step 1. And let's see. It looks like this. So it looks like these. Well, they're little spacers, right? So they go in like that. So far, no pieces have broken. They come out fairly easily. You got to kind of like push them back and forth a little bit to get them to pop out, especially these little smaller pieces. And then one of the gears, so A1, which is this one, and they show the rotational arrows on the outside. So that's gonna go on like that. That's kind of loose. Are you supposed to glue it on or something? Like they pushed really hard in on this side, and then they're really loose on this side. I picked the right A1. A1. Weird. Okay. Well, anyways, this looks like goes. Okay. Goes on this. Is this thing directional? I guess it would be. That's gonna go on there, and that's gonna go through there. I think. And then A2. I don't know. A2. Oh. Oh. This pushes all the way down. We're not using the spacers as spacers yet. I see. And then this goes on. That makes more sense. These are acting as little springs, and that they're allowed to push in when this rotates. And then it's like a catch or a ratchet. That's the word. So that would act like a ratchet. And then this goes on there. And the extra part of the spacer actually goes on there. Like that. Oh, wow, look at that. Those teeth aren't matched. So I probably screwed that up. Do you think those teeth should align? I don't know, but so this you can wind one way, and it's got a ratcheting system inside, so it'll catch the other way. So that's like one step done. I'll double check those teeth, but yeah, let's just keep going, I guess. Yeah, some of these little bits, it's got little burrs on them. So I guess that's what the sandpaper's for. A lot of little pieces here. This is step 2, including some little bushing things, tiny little things there, and a metal bar, which was one of many different lengths, but here they show it 45 millimeters 1:1, so you can kind of line it up with the picture. So got these two things here. Oh, there's some. Where'd my sandpaper go? There's some little burrs on that. Not like super concerned, but with like everything being perfectly smooth. But if there's obvious things sticking out, I'll do that. So here, got these two pieces like so. And then these, okay. Doesn't matter what way that goes. These two things go in those. That. And then again, that wouldn't really matter what way it goes. So let's go on there. Like that. Supposed to be a bit of a gap there. Nope, there's not. Holy cow. Oh, there we go. Nice, satisfying little snap, considering this is wood. Why do they show a check mark? Yes. And an X. No. What's the difference? Oh, they're just saying that, yeah, okay. Those should be all the way down so they're flush with that. Okay. Now what? The little bushing. One of these little bushings. What? What? Why would it go in there? Makes no sense. But they want that pushed in there. They want them. Oh, they want the bar to go through like that. Like, okay. Then they show this. This just looks like a tool to me. What is the point of that? They're just using it to push down, so you don't have to push on a tiny metal. Okay, now what? That's it? Oh, I see. They show it here. Yes. So they do show it there, sticking down. We have this little bushing a little ways up on that metal bar. Wow. And what was the point of that? I don't know, because we're already moving on to these two guys. And okay, this and it wouldn't matter what way that is. And these all come in. Oh, they're like staggered, I think. So, wait, like that. And then like that. And then these go on, lined up. So that's going to go down. Okay. And then just doubling that up like that. Voila. We made the thing they wanted us to make for step 2, I guess. They never show you like a picture of what it should look like at the end. But, okay. And what does this mean? Like, what is that? What is that? They show this little logo. Maybe I should have, oh, wax or lubricant needed. Really? Okay. Is that what this was? This is wax. And you're supposed to rub some of it in. So like every gear tooth? Just a little bit of wax. I use wax for a lubricant. Okay. All right. So reading the instructions from the beginning very carefully, I guess, helps. Now in step 2 here, for that little yellow bushing, it says ×3, but we only used 1. What is up with that? That's where we use the next 2. So this is kind of like step 2 continued. And that's step 3 starting, I guess. Yeah, okay, I guess. So, looks like they're taking this and this is going through. I don't want to go through. Jab me in the finger when it does go through. Like that. So that goes through that. And then 2 more go on here. And then so okay, see, use the tool, push these little bushings on. I feel like it's easier to use my finger to get it started, but this thing's so awkward. This is very awkward right now. Awkward to hold this thing and not feel like you're gonna break teeth off gears, or jab yourself in the finger. There we go. Okay, so there they finally show you the final piece for step 3, I guess, or step 2 that was. Still on step 2 here. Yep. So that I would say looks like that. Okay, so we're actually making a similar thing. Is the whole point of this is literally just put these on. And get them at the right. Like, this is almost just a tool in itself. So that you're so this gets to the right length. So yeah, we're making a separate set, which is a different set. And so let's see, this is a different this is quite bigger than this one was. And same idea though, where these are going to be staggered again. And they go right through the back side. They actually go through like that. Okay. Think I did that right. Find out in a second. So these gotta go on. Let's see if one fits on first. Yep. All right. One on. And push on that a little bit. That should be good. Okay. And then that goes through there. Whee. one of these goes all the way on. And then one of them goes on this riggy again. Like that. Where were we? We're over here still. Getting ahead of myself there. So we just did this, and you can see, maybe you can't, but they got one of the bushings or whatever, and then a space. So it looks like that. And then I guess we gotta wax this thing up. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun, boys and girls? So step 4 was basically just making this thing, kind of similar to the last two things that we've made, with the exception that these teeth are directional. So, like, the position of this thing when you start to put it together matters, unlike the other ones. But when we're done, it basically just looks like this. So step 5, we basically made another one of these style things with a much larger gear, as you can see. But that was only the first half of step 5. And now we're working on this thing. Looks like we use these. But again, with these, it's always in a pair, where you have 2 with a higher notch and 2 with a lower notch. And the lower notch ones will go in opposite ends first, and then the ones with the higher notch can sit above them, if that made any sense. So these 2 have the lower notch, and these 2 have the higher notch, and that's typically the way all of these style of things have worked so far. Like that, and then, okay, this little thing should go on the end. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then that, that goes on there. Like that. That goes on the other side. That. That's just weight. That's just counterbalance. So that is. And then they want this little bit waxed. Now, having us make another one of these depth tools. I don't know why. If this one's different than the other one. A different height set on it. Again, they want these flush and those sticking up. That's definitely going to have more depth in there, isn't it? So now we're using a 70 millimeter post pole thingy bar, and then that's going to go in there, and you can see that's got a different measurement to it than what we've been doing. Okay, now what? This goes through here. And then 2 more go on here. There's one. Little tool's getting marred up pretty good. Okay, there's 2. All right, now what? And then this goes on like that. Alrighty then. And then okay, one of these goes on all the way. And then one goes on in our depth thingy. Like that. And that can move freely. And I think that's it. Oh, that's a little depth gauge on this tool. Wait, is it? Clearly that's not right. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, okay. So on this side, we're supposed to be at this depth. And on this side, we're supposed to be at this depth. This depth is this tool. And this depth is the original tool we made. So we did that wrong. That's going to be fun. Actually, we can go like that. Okay, so that should be like that, and that should be like that. Yes. What were the other ones like that? No, because I mean we just made this tool for this step, so we've only needed this deeper one for that one, I guess. All right, we're on to step 6. So step 6, we've got a lot of parts here, including some, like a metal weight, a couple little coil springs, a little nut, and a little screw. And this is the pendulum, obviously, and some little decorative bits. And I'm going to assume that weight is going in the bottom of that pendulum. So let's get started. Starting with the shaft first. And one of these guys. And we're doing it on the T1 bar. That one's T2. Well, that one's T1, I see. So T1 and T2 are the short and the long little tools for capping these things. So T1's the short one, T2's the long one. All right. So that was step one, was basically just to make this. Now we are on this guy. I clean this up a little bit in a few spots. And okay, we're doing B5s, B5, B6s. So basically just this thing again, where short ones down and clean these up a little bit. That one was especially bad. Again, I'm not super worried about it, but ones that are really bad, we will fix. And so again, these two have a little gap at the bottom, and these ones have it at the top. So they go on opposite ends of each other. Okay, click those in. And then this little decorative piece, our end cap piece, is going on there. All right. Just like that. Then this is going through, and we're putting two more bushings on the end of that. Don't want to break the pendulum. All right. Now, looks like on here, okay, I'm going to take one of these. Obviously, these are decorative, so the detail's got to go out. So this one's going on the bottom. And then I said 3 spacers. I see, I'm totally putting those in the wrong spot, aren't I? 3 spacers. 2 at the bottom on angles. 1 top. Okay. And oh, I see. That's gonna go flush. And then our weight's gonna sit in there. With the 2 spring. Really? It needs this. Does it need springs in there? Really? 2 little springs get loaded into there. wouldn't have thought that was necessary. But it gives that a little spring action. What's that at the bottom? P8. Ah. P8's that little nut. And then that's going to go through the bottom. Oh, I get it. I get the springs then. So when you twist this, turn this screw, it's going to push this weight up. And when you loosen the screw, the weight's going to come down. And the springs are just there to keep the weight as low as possible. But you're adjusting where the weight is in this thing. And that's going to be how you tune the speed of the time, isn't it? Okay. And this just goes back on top to seal the deal. And that should be pretty much flush. Get that weight in there. That's pretty cool. I'll tighten that up a little bit. I think that's it. Got the weights, the springs, nut, screw, decorative piece. Just showing how that works there. And then, what's this all about? They're showing the gap there that it should be on that, I guess. Close enough. Slightly bending, which is a little worrying. Okay. That's it. They want a little bit of wax just on these things here. Because again, these are going to, when this tick-tocks back and forth, it's basically going to be like stopping the gear, little steps at a time, something like that. All right, we're on to step 7. So at this point, this is where we are. We've got most of the gears done. I think, well, basically all the gears done. It's mostly bigger pieces now. The pieces that are like the structure, I'm going to make it look like an owl. This is taking way longer than I thought it would, and I kind of just want to get it finished at this point. So we're just going to go into montage and speed through the last half, and then we'll take a look at it working at the end, and I'll tell you my final thoughts. So this thing took me like 5 hours to put together. Keeping in mind a lot of the time was just double checking things, sanding the gears, polishing the gears with the wax. Some of the instructions weren't super clear, but for the most part it wasn't too bad. Aligning that spring was a little weird based on just one picture, but they actually had links to videos. So in the instructions they had like barcodes to scan for a couple of the spots where they thought you might need a video, and that spring was one of them, although I didn't actually watch the video. I figured it out just by looking at it. The fact is, this thing's pretty cool. It works, and but it's kind of a catch-22. The clock part, it's called an owl clock. The clock part is the quartz running off a battery. None of the gears, none of the springs are involved in the clock half. The back half is the timer, and that's where you wind the bell, you select the time you want, and it'll count down, and then it'll ring the bell. So this is really a timer with a clock feature. They could have just sold this as a timer. They do sell one that is a clock. They sell one that's only a clock. It's a true mechanical clock. There's no quartz. There's no battery. It's just a clock, and it's a true mechanical clock. This one's really more a timer, and the clock is just a feature on the side. So all the gears, all the springs, the pendulum, that's all for the timer. But that works, and it works pretty well. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty complex. You can see all the gears moving. It's pretty fun. I did read some reviews on Amazon, and it seems like honestly 2/3 of the people that put it together said it didn't work. It works for me. I wound it up and I let it tick-tock away, and it went for like an hour. So mine works great, but yeah, I could see how if some things were a little off, if some things were too tight, if your bushings were pushed together too tight, if some of the tolerances are off a little bit, some of the longer pieces, the wood will start to warp, maybe with age. I don't know. Moisture, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, if some of these larger pieces of wood start to warp a little bit and they bend a little bit, and then the tolerances are out for the gears that have to move within it. Make sure everything's smooth. Make sure everything's waxed with the wax. Anywhere where there's like wood on wood, some of the wood spindles that like spin in a wooden hole, especially. But overall, it's really cool when it works. If it works, hopefully it works for you. But apparently, again, for most people, it wasn't working. Mine's working fine. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool for what it is. So yeah, that's it.